In this video, I want to share a dream that I had. Back when I was still living in Hawaii. It was probably around 2015 when Melania was still pregnant. Nobody knew what she was going to have, but of course we're all watching to see what is Melania going to have, a boy or a girl. And of course, we all know about Donald Trump. We're all crazy about Donald Trump. He's such a wonderful celebrity to all of us, keeping us entertained. And, even in his presidency, he's kept us quite entertained. Okay, so in this dream, it was extremely amazing, and I think it was from God. Of course, I can't ever be like those people that say, God showed me in a dream, because I don't know. But it is a curious dream. Right now, in this dream, I was caught up into a heavenly type place. It was a forest of woods, but it wasn't on the earth, and it wasn't in heaven, but it was above, and like an in-between place, and it was a forest filled with trees. And I was looking up, and there was in heaven above me, became like opened up, a circle opened up, and a light came down from heaven, and it began to pour into me the true gospel. I mean, it was like amazing. It was like, wow. And I was just filled with glory and light and truth. And then after that happened, and I was put down onto the earth again, and I mean, I went running. I was going to go tell the true gospel. I was going to tell everybody, and I had the understanding in this dream that this was it. I mean, either you repented, that was my message: repent now and get right with God, or it's too late. You move on. We just move on. Move on, next. That's kind of like that. Well, as I went out to preach the gospel, all of a sudden, there I was passing this huge, one of those luxury 5-star hotels, and out of the driveway came on the motorcycle, a Triumph motorcycle, Donald Trump, and he comes riding out, and on the back was his son. I knew it was his son, and it was he looked like he might have been 3 to 4 years old. And I remember thinking at the time, oh wow, he's not afraid to ride with his baby on the back like that. Okay, so he crosses my path and he heads off, and then that's the dream. So I remember at the time I went to my sister's. I was sitting in her kitchen, and I said to her, guess what? I know what Donald and Melania are going to have a boy. They're going to have a son, because the Lord showed me in the dream that they're going to have a son. And sure enough, they had a son. So I do believe that the dream was prophetic. Well, now, some of my favorite YouTube channels, I love that little Enter the Stars, Casey. I listen to him a lot. And so Casey was focusing on time travel, and so I kind of was studying about that, and I was thinking, well, maybe, it could be like a time loop, because I don't believe Donald Trump, has a time machine, but it's possible that God could be showing me that we're in a time loop, that there was something that happened in the Old Testament that is happening to us now. And lo and behold, I think I discovered that the time loop is the story of when Hazael, God told Elijah to go and anoint Hazael, and he's Assyria. He doesn't even have anything to do with Israel, but he's going to be used by God to judge God's people, and it's not going to be a pretty picture. But Elijah doesn't ever get to do it. He never does get to fulfill it. But Elijah does have a confrontation with Hazael, because the king of Syria sends him to find out if he's going to heal. He's very, very sick, so he has a mortal wound. And he wants to know if he's going to be healed. And does that sound kind of familiar in the book of Revelation, the mortal wound? But anyway, what happens is Elijah starts to weep and to cry, because Hazael is like, oh, what in the world? What is the matter with you? And he says, yes, he'll be healed, but I know what terrible things you're going to be the king, and I know what terrible things you're going to do to God's people. So it was a very sad state. So I'm thinking, well, maybe this is a time loop, maybe that's what God is showing us. Well, then again, and then Donald Trump names his son Baron, which means Lord. So if you're following Leland Jones, who believes that Donald Trump is the Antichrist, that could be an Antichrist reference, or it could be that there's something coming in the future with Baron, his son. I mean, or and the fact that the child was maybe 3 to 4 years old could be talking about one of his terms as presidency. Maybe he's going to be a one-term president. I mean, who knows? At this point, it's up for grabs for for everybody that's watching. This political game is more interesting and more fun than the sports games. They really do keep us entertained, don't they? So, watching it all. So anyway, that was my dream about Donald Trump, and and the fact that I think it was prophetic was because of the fact that I could prophesy that he was going to have a son, and he did. So anyway, so that is my Donald Trump dream, and you can take it or leave it, take it for what it is. I'm still chewing on that dream after all these years. I'm still meditating on it, and what could it mean? Normally, it's been my experience that when I have a dream from God, I don't know it until it's passed, and I'm looking back and I'm going, oh, that's what that dream meant. I mean, he really was showing me something. So that's kind of how it is with me anyway. I don't know how it is with others. So anyway, God bless you all.